Hello and welcome to this edition of Township Talk. I'm your host Chuck Curl, and today our topic is the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. And with us from the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is Ed Harris. He is the VP of Marketing and Communication. Ed, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me back, Chuck. It's great to be here.
It's great to have you back again. The big question for those of people who hasn't seen this before, give them a little bit of idea what the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board is all about.
Sure. So we were started in 1963. And currently we have about 25 staff members. We're a nonprofit organization, and we are the tourism board, so we represent all of Montgomery County. And there's so much to do throughout Montgomery County, and especially here in Upper Merion Township. And it's the best job in the world because of the variety of cool things always going on in this region, right in the backyard of a major metropolitan city like Philadelphia.
Yeah, and I guess the big key here in Upper Merion Township, we're sort of like the hub of, I guess, your Montgomery County of what your territory that you're covering. So it seems like, is it safe to say this would be like the brainchild of the operation?
Yeah, I think you could say that. We like to refer to King of Prussia as the gateway
Okay.
to Montgomery County. It seems like all major roads in the region come to King of Prussia, whether it's 76 or the Blue Route or the Turnpike. They all lead here. And it really is the gateway to so much awesome stuff throughout the county here.
Well, you know, we always hear about tourism and convention boards. Sometimes it could be a very blasé at times. Is there any type of initiative to like rebrand, to get people more involved and interested in what you're doing?
Absolutely. In fact, we're trying to take a new approach to the whole tourism and hospitality world. In recent years, we've been developing brands. And so in my prior experience when I was in the for-profit world, I spent 12 years working at footwear and apparel brands like Under Armour and Timberland and Converse, to name a few. And so in terms of brand development, we're now looking at tourism in that way, in the sense that we have a lot of segments who are interested in traveling here. And so we're carving out specific brands within our portfolio, if you will, to go after people like brides-to-be with our Montgomery County Weddings brand, or our history buffs with our Patriot Trails brand, or even our golf enthusiasts with Montco Golf, which celebrates over 50 golf courses we have out here in Montgomery County.
So it's more like demographics on a hobby basis, not an age basis.
Absolutely, yeah. There's something for everybody within our brands. We also have a techie brand, something called Montco 360. It's actually a website, and it's montco360.net, and we've got over 60 virtual tours of attractions spread out all over Montgomery County, including places here in Upper Merion Township, where you can click through and take a virtual tour before you get here. So if you're from out of town and you're looking to plan a trip, it's like looking at a virtual brochure of the area.
Well, like you mentioned, like a bridal, someone wanting to have like a rehearsal dinner or a wedding, they could check out a venue online before they actually go see it. That has to be getting a lot of attention on your website.
It is, and we just launched Montco 360 about 90 days ago, and the response we're getting is incredible. In fact, we started out with a few parks, like the Valley Forge National Historical Park, of course. We showed off some hotels like the Sheraton over in Valley Forge, the Doubletree, etc. And then we started getting all these calls from restaurants saying, hey, we want to be on this site too. And so now we have everything from high-end restaurants all the way down to mom and pop pizza shops that you can discover when you go on this website, along with shops at the King of Prussia Mall, Philadelphia Premium Outlets. There's just so much cool stuff that you can see when you come to not only Upper Merion Township, but broader here in Montgomery County.
Yeah, it's almost like a Yelp on steroids.
It is.
You know,
That's
really
a good way
is.
to explain it.
Yeah, because you have so many other opportunities to see certain things, and that's got to be pretty cool. Especially the history buff. They must love taking the virtual tours of the parks in the area.
Yes, so it's funny you mentioned that because we have a brand catered to that. It's Patriot Trails. We created a microsite, patriottrails.com, and that's all about starting out at the Valley Forge National Park and taking visitors throughout Montgomery County to experience all the Revolutionary War historical points of interest, all the way out to Peter Wentz Farmstead, places like Hope Lodge out in Fort Washington, Pennypacker Mills. There's so much Revolutionary War history, and we're finding that on our Facebook page, et cetera, like all our social media channels, when we talk about history, there's an appetite for that. There's a lot of people who come to this area from all over because they want to relive or experience that whole chapter in our American history.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I'm not sure if you have the information or technology to know, but is there one portion of the website that you seem to be getting more attention than others?
Yeah, so on our main website, which is, we have quite a few websites, but our main website, of course, is valleyforge.org. And the number one thing that people click on is things to do.
Okay.
And so things to do encompasses all kinds of stuff, everything from go-karts that you can take your kids to ride on over at Arnold's Family Fun Center, to Elmwood Park Zoo, where you can feed giraffes, lettuce if you pay $5 and go up on that platform. You can look at all the shopping, you can look at all the restaurants. So things to do is definitely the number one area of our website that people look at. We also see quite a few people looking at our hotels, and which is great for us because our organization is funded in part by the hotel tax.
Okay.
So when people come from out of the area and stay here in our hotels, a percentage comes to our organization to make sure people are aware of all the good things you can do here, to make you want to come here and stay in our hotel. So it's sort of a cycle. And our website, again, is valleyforge.org, and there's lots of stuff to digest and experience on the site.
So I know you're saying that a lot of funding is through the hotels. Do the hotels do a lot of promotion for your organization? Is it a very symbiotic relationship?
Absolutely. We're in a unique position where we've got a wonderful relationship with the hotel community. We actually have 74 hotels throughout Montgomery County. And last fall, when Pope Francis was staying in Montgomery County over in Wynwood, we partnered with the hotels and we created these welcome bags for visitors to be able to get lots of brochures on things to do when they're coming not only from around the United States, but on a global basis. There were visitors from all over. And so we worked very closely with the hotel community on making that a success. And the great news is that we have another huge event coming this summer with the Democratic National Convention.
Yes.
Although the convention's happening in Philadelphia, several state delegations will be staying in our hotels. Mm-hmm. So we've kind of been tested already with the Pope, and now we're going to create a great welcome for those delegates come July. And what's interesting is that when you work in tourism, you never know what kind of special projects you might get to work on. And if you go to a dinner party, people may say, you know, the two things you never talk about are religion and politics. And it just so happens that religion happened last fall and politics are coming this summer. But regardless of your religion or your political party, the economic impact for these big events is huge. For the DNC this summer, we know that there's going to be over 14,000 room nights already booked for that 1 week in July, which represents over $16 million of economic impact to our county. So it's huge. And it's just a really exciting industry to work in.
Well, travel and tourism are our two words, so we're going to take our first break. We're with Ed Harris. He is the VP of Marketing and Communications for the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, and we'll be right back with more after this.
They do not have to die, but they do.
24,000 children every day.
They die for reasons we can prevent.
Like not getting enough food
or medicine,
or clean, safe water to drink.
24,000 children every day.
But we are gaining ground. A generation ago, twice as many children were dying.
Still, 24,000 every day?
They do not have to die.
But they do.
They die because they are young and vulnerable.
They die because through no fault of their own.
They are poor.
24,000 children.
24,000 children.
24,000 children.
Every day.
My name is Taya Leone.
My name is Joel Madden.
My name is Orlando Bloom.
My name is Salma Khayyam.
My name is Lawrence Fishburne, and I believe.
I believe. Believe.
I believe. Believe.
My name is Liam Neeson, and I believe that number should be 0. Believe in 0.
Join the effort. Visit unicefusa.org.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back to this edition of Township Talk. Hello again, I'm Chuck Curl, and I am joined by Ed Harris. He is the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board VP of Marketing and Communication. And Ed, as we were going to break, you were talking a little bit about some of the major events that are happening here in the Delaware Valley. And as you know, the Democratic Convention doesn't happen every year, but there are some things that you're actually doing on a yearly basis that seem really important, especially for people here in Upper Merion Township.
Yes, so right here in Upper Merion Township, every year, we're in our 11th year actually, we have our Revolutionary Run. And it's a 5-mile run right over at Valley Forge National Historical Park. And I got to tell you, it's not an easy course because it's hilly, it's not flat, but we get a ton of runners every spring. It's usually 2 weeks before the big Broad Street Run down in Philadelphia. And the whole community comes out. It's a big celebration, and it's such a beautiful park to run in that we're trying to increase our numbers every year. And being in our 11th year, we're going to see at least the number we had last year, which was about 1,200 runners. Wow. And we also raise money for the park. When you sign up through our organization, all the money we raise goes right back to the park to keep that the beautiful gem that Valley Forge Park is.
Now, is it a run for all types or levels of talent, like the very competitive to the casual runner?
Great question. Yeah, so we get runners from Kenya who show up for this and are ultra competitive, and all different countries around the world, which is usually the people who are here training ahead of Broad Street. On the flip side, we also have a walk, which you can sign up for, and it's dog friendly. So we get people from all walks of life out at the park every April. And it's just a great day, and we're just counting on having great weather. We also know that the media is going to show up again this year, which is always an added layer. It's very exciting. So, is it the same distance as the Broad Street Run, or longer?
Not
quite. Okay. It's probably about half the distance of the Broad Street Run. It is a 5-mile run, and anybody can sign up. You don't have to qualify or anything like that. However, it is a USTA sanctioned race, so it is a very professional race. You'll be timed, you'll get your little bib to wear, and it's very professional at the same time.
Wow, so that's just one of many different events that the tourism board's running here in Upper Merion Township. What seems to be, besides the run, what seems to be the hidden jewel that people should really come in and check out if they have the opportunity to?
Sure. So one thing we're going to launch early summer this year is Destination Montco Golf. Oh. And you'd be surprised, but we've got 54 golf courses spread out across Montgomery County. And I mentioned earlier we have 75 hotels. So we're going to start marketing golf to people beyond the region. And hopefully they'll come and they'll play several courses and visit our restaurants, our attractions while they're here, and really boost our economy. And so we're going to kick that brand off with a big golf outing coming up early summer this year, and we've got big plans for it. We think that we're right there with any other destination when it comes to variety of golf. Out of those 54 courses, half of those are public courses. So whether you're a novice just getting started in the game, we have something for everybody, all the way up to very ultra premium country clubs and some of the most historic golf courses in the United States.
Wow! So some of these high-end golf courses, are there any prerequisites to get on? Because as you know, some of the private clubs are very difficult to play unless you know someone, compared to a public course. And how did you finagle and work all that out to get people onto these certain courses?
Right. So our organization is really just building awareness for the variety of golf. Typically, you do need a membership if you're going to play on one of the higher-end country clubs, although in recent years the sport of golf has been a little bit more lenient in terms of who can play at some of the more premium courses. If you're part of a larger corporate group, oftentimes they will take bigger groups to come onto your course. However, as an individual, typically if you're not a member of the club, at this point in time, you'd have to play at one of our great public courses. Right. But we do have some of the best public courses in the area. When you talk about places like Turtle Creek, Raven's Claw, there's golf for everybody out here. And we're just getting started with making people aware that you can come here and have so much golf right at your fingertips, only minutes from Philadelphia.
Now, restaurants and hotels in the area, are they aware of this program that you're trying to put in place, and are they jumping on board saying, hey, we want to get involved with this?
Yes, in fact, that's what we're doing at the moment. We're having lots of great conversations about, hey, how can I tap into this great awareness campaign for golf? And we're going to be announcing some sponsors in the near future. But everybody seems to be excited, and I mentioned Montco 360 earlier, which is all about showing virtual tours. We have plans to take drones up into the sky and show some of the aerial views of some of these beautiful courses so that people from bordering states can see, the premium, the quality of our golf and want to come here.
Right.
So.
Well, not to shift gears a little bit, but I'm just curious because I know you have a for-profit background and now you're a non-for-profit. What have the challenges been like, and what are the differences that you have to deal with at your level?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. In terms of brand development, all the principles are pretty much the same. And the way I look at brand development, I kind of compare it to being in a rock band and maybe, making an album or a record, if you will. And, so much work goes into developing that album, and then it kind of goes off and it lives on its own, and people discover it, etc. And brand building's a lot like that too. And so earlier on in my career, when I was at Converse, if you will, it was all about how do we make the Chuck Taylor basketball sneaker important, right? And after doing that for a few years, I had a chance, I was lucky enough to go work at Under Armour, which is a very modern apparel and footwear company. And so crafting that brand and giving that sort of a buzz and brand awareness was a little bit different than the previous chapter or album, if you will. And I kind of look at tourism that way, whether we're going to do a campaign around our restaurants or our parks or our shopping or whatever it is, it has to kind of have its own life, take on its own world, if you will. And that's what's so exciting about being a brand marketer, is to be able to take a segment and create a product, if you will, out of that segment and put it in front of people and watch them digest it and really buy into it, if you will.
Yeah, so you're the perfect person to ask. If someone was coming from out of state, let's say that they're coming from Chicago, where would you direct them saying, hey, the people are looking for things to do? You're the tour guide here. Where would you go?
Well, if it's in the springtime, you've got tons of options. In fact, all year round, you really have tons of options. But in the spring and summer months, I just talked about golf. That would definitely be one of the things. But we've got some of the best parks. We've got over 30 parks. We have places like Green Lane Park, where you can take kayaks out, where you can do horseback riding. I would recommend the over 500 restaurants to choose from. We have 90 miles of trails. We probably have the best shopping on the East Coast when you think about our several malls in Montgomery County versus all the outdoor shopping we have in all these quaint, awesome towns throughout Montgomery County. And I could probably go on and on. I mean, we've got an incredible family-friendly zoo up the street in Norristown, where you can get up close and personal with all these great animals with your kids. And yes, I don't know if that answers your question. It's kind of a mouthful, but I don't think there's one specific place I would recommend to go. I would encourage people to come to our website and see valleyforge.org, because even for entertainment, I mean, we have things like the Valley Forge Casino Resort. And last year they opened up Valley Beach, which has this really cool outdoor pool with stages and a DJ and cabanas. And so whether you're a kid or whether you're an adult looking to have fun, there's really something in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania for everybody.
Well, it's been very informative thus far. We're with Ed Harris. He is the VP of Marketing and Communications for the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, and we still have more coming your way right after this.
Oh, I must be careful.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help.
Come on, Anna.
To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge.
Lafayette, what are you doing?
I'm not gonna lie, definitely not easy.
Hey, whoa.
Just gotta get through the day.
How do you stop it?
Being used to doing something with a cigarette makes it hard doing it without one. And If I can relearn to get through my workday without cigarettes, I can relearn anything without cigarettes.
Relearn life without cigarettes. Free at becomeanx.org. A new way to think about quitting.
Coming home can be hard if you're a veteran of Iraq or Afghanistan. You may feel like you're all alone. But you're not alone. At IAVA.org, your fellow vets are all around you. Join our free online community, get the resources you need, and connect to other vets who know where you're coming from. IAVA.org. We've got your back.
We are back with Ed Harris. He is the VP of Marketing and Communications for the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board, and Ed's been giving us a lot of information on what's happening here in Upper Merion Township. And Ed, I think the one thing that I was curious, that say someone watching this program, like a company, a hotel, a pizza parlor, how would they become a member to get on board to really get involved with? It's a very exciting time of year to get involved into the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board.
Absolutely. 12 months a year, we're always looking for new members. In fact, our membership is up 29% versus last year. We had just over 300 members. Now we're over 400 members. And there's lots of benefits to becoming a member of our organization. The best place to find out all of those features and benefits would be to come to our website at valleyforge.org/members, okay. And we offer educational seminars around social media and website things and all kinds of things that can help your business. And we've got a wide range of members. So from a networking standpoint, by joining as a member of our organization, you're going to be meeting, leaders of lots of companies, parks, restaurants, all kinds of really interesting people. And we're excited. We're going to continue to grow membership, continue to have events where our members can get together and meet each other, and then also offer an education piece to help increase their business.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, that all roads seem to come through Upper Merion Township here in King of Prussia. How about like sporting events in terms of like tournaments? Is there any type of draw to get say a soccer tournament or a basketball tournament to come here into the area? Because obviously that benefits the hotels and the restaurants.
Absolutely. It's funny you ask that because we have another brand called Valley Forge Sports. And Valley Forge Sports is all about attracting those big sports groups to come here and spend an entire long weekend and fill up our hotels, fill up our restaurants, and have your girls lacrosse tournament or volleyball or boys soccer or basketball or whatever sport you want to insert in there. We can accommodate them. We've got lots of fields here in Montgomery County, and it's actually one of our fastest growing divisions. It makes up a very big percentage of the visitors who are coming into the area. They're coming here for sports. One of the places here in Upper Merion Township, which is a great indoor place, is Competitive Edge Sports over on Henderson Road, which has several basketball courts, volleyball courts, and I think sports, you're going to see a lot more from us as we market that opportunity to people outside the area. Because it's a big economic driver. Some of our neighbors out in Lancaster County and even Atlantic City have built or are in the process of building very large-scale sports facilities because they're seeing how that can impact the economy. When you have your son or daughter go play in a tournament, you're going to spend the night, you might even bring grandma with you, and you're going to go out, you're going to need a place to eat, you're going to need things to do when you're not playing the game. Right. And so sports is a huge business, and we're right there, we're part of that.
Yeah, the reason why I ask is here in Upper Merion Township, we deal with the King of Prussia Youth Sports Foundation.
Sure.
And I wasn't sure if there was any synergy here with them working with your organization as well to try to really make things run very smoothly here in the area.
Absolutely. We work with them and several other groups just to make sure all the kids and the youth groups are having just an awesome experience. I mean, I loved playing sports growing up, and it was a special part of my life. And you know, to be now in this role and work with our sports division at our company to make sure the next generation has as good, if not a better, experience with every kind of sport you can imagine, even sports that didn't even exist when I was a kid, like Quidditch, which is very popular actually over at Chestnut Hill College, and other sports that are popping up that are becoming more popular. So it's just a really fun space to work in.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because you mentioned earlier that you were involved with Converse and Under Armour, and Under Armour is really making a surge now. That has a number of professional athletes promoting. But I think of the Chuck Taylors, that sort of has sort of like a revival, like almost like the Coke Classic kind of tag.
Yes.
So you were with two organizations that seem to be coming back on the rebound. I'm sure you're hoping that the tourism department here in King of Prussia is going to do the same thing.
That is the hope, definitely.
Yes.
You know, we want to continue to increase visitation. The great thing about our website, valleyforge.org, in this modern day age of 2016, we can measure and track all of the traffic coming to our site, where they're coming from, how many people are coming. And you know, our visitation to our website is up 65% versus last year. So there's definitely interest in coming here for a wide range of activities.
Well, yeah, as you mentioned, with the Democratic Convention coming in, we're not too far from Philadelphia. This is going to be a perfect spot for a lot of people that want to get away from all the craziness going on in the city. And that's going to be, I guess, very profitable for this area because of that.
Absolutely. You know, we want them to come out here. You know, come out to Montgomery County, experience the open spaces, experience our free parking, which you're not going to get in Philadelphia. And we've got all the great restaurants. We've got all the amenities. We've got the big brand hotels, the best shopping, like I said, in the East Coast, amazing parks. You can do water sports out here, and we're so close to Philadelphia that we are going to see people from all over the country wind up out here doing something, because there's lots of things to do.
Yeah, and with the rebranding initiative, it's nothing but the sky's the limit, as they would say.
Absolutely, yeah, and even on social media, we're seeing a lot more followers to our Facebook page. We've started all of the usual suspects in terms of the social media channels, whether it's Twitter or Instagram, Pinterest. We have a YouTube channel that has over 18 videos, and we've even started Snapchat. So I didn't know what Snapchat was a year ago, and here we are doing Snapchats of some of our most popular attractions.
Yeah, speaking of you're a good person to have Snapchat. Some of our older viewers might not be aware of it. It's something that the video doesn't last forever. Is that correct?
Right, and it goes away pretty fast.
Okay.
And so we do Snapchat stories, if you will, and they're very quick snippets of, it's usually photography and video and some text layered in, and the next generation coming up loves it. And that's what's been so interesting as a marketer over the past 15 years, is just seeing how technology has really impacted what we do in, say, the advertising world. I mean, kids today, they love to text, although now they like to use emojis. So let me just put a symbol on my phone, which can tell you everything you need to know. I don't even want to type a full sentence out anymore. And that's part of that Snapchat generation as well. Everything's so instantaneous, which is really interesting to see how we need to think about that as they're the next wave of visitors in this tourism and hospitality world. We need to be able to connect with them on their terms.
Well, Ed, I have to tell you one thing. Nice segue. It's been nice chatting with you here today. Ed Harris, he is the VP of Marketing and Communications for the Valley Forge Tourism and Convention Board. We'd like to thank you for being our guest here today. From all of us here at UMGA Television, I'm Chuck Curlin. Thank you for watching.